Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different, but before I get into that, I just want to tell you something. You may have noticed that I use a certain world all the time for a lot of these videos, a lot of projects and stuff. And that world is my test world, but unfortunately, because of this project that I've been working on all day, it crashed, and now I can't open the world without it crashing as well. So yeah, the video I was going to do today, the project I'd been working on, is now completely not working, and I may have lost my world forever. But on the upside, I have sent an email to Mojang, and hopefully they'll be able to sort something out. Maybe they'll have to get into the actual map and try and fix it, because I'm 99% certain that the reason why it crashed is because of the project I was working on. I'm not going to say exactly why, but I should have known better than to think that it would work on my computer at the very least. So instead of what I was going to do, instead I've decided I'm going to check out some maps and show you around them. Now I've got 3 maps I want to check out. All of them are by this guy here, Carlo, or also known as Carlos. So he is a really cool map maker. He hasn't made anything in a long while, but he's made several really cool maps. And I'm going to show you a few of them. And he did say you don't need to worry about me making these videos, because he did say in a couple of his maps where I downloaded them from that as long as you credit him, you can even use his maps and servers. So I think making a video that barely anyone will see won't be that big a deal as long as I credit him. But even still, I'll have a link to his Minecraft Planet account where his maps are in the description if you want to check them out for yourself. Well, this first build is by far the smallest, but I quite like it, and I thought that it might make good clickbait. This one is called Masticcio Bandito, and as you can see on the sign, and it's basically just a big mech sort of build with a mustache. So I personally think it kind of looks like the Mumbo Jumbo mustache. If you know who Mumbo Jumbo is, he's a big Minecraft YouTuber, and this is the evil Mecha Mumbo Jumbo. So there is a resource pack that comes with his builds, but I honestly don't like how it looks, because it sort of gives a strobe effect when you have it on. Look, I'll actually change it over to it so you can have a look, and it might be because it's incompatible, or it's an old resource pack and it doesn't work properly now, but it kind of gives a strobe effect to the blocks, especially the further away you get, and I really don't like that. But this is how it would look with the resource pack. But like I said, I don't like it, so I'm going to turn it off and go back to the normal one. So as I was saying before, this is the smallest one by far of all his builds, but it's kind of shows you the sort of thing he does with his builds. This one was also built quite a bit earlier than the other two, and yeah, it's just a really cool small build, and I'll probably use it as clickbait to as evil Mumbo Jumbo Mecha, because why not? Well, the second build is a lot bigger. When I was looking at the first build, I kind of forgot how much smaller it is than the other two. And this one is still smaller, although only a bit smaller than the last one. So because of how big it is, it does get very laggy, so if you do not enjoy lag, you might not enjoy this, but there you go. Here is the second build. And this is honestly one of the most impressive builds I've ever seen. It's a giant sort of walking base, like a walking military base with ships and all sorts of stuff at the top. Now, because of how laggy it is, I am going to turn my settings down, especially my render distance, which means that you won't be able to see all of it at once, but it also means that it won't be lagging like as badly. So that way we can go in and have a look at stuff closer in. Now it has all sorts of ships and thingies in it, and a lot of detail. But one of the most impressive things about this build and the next one is how detailed it is on the inside. Because despite how detailed it is on the outside, it only gets more detailed on the inside. And by that I mean it is fully developed on the inside. I'm going to go into the spectator mode so I can go through walls and stuff to show you. So like for example, for a lot of builds, including ones that I myself do, they just build the shell and they do nothing on the insides, but that's not the case with Carlo. No, he's built all sorts of things, like for example, a library here, he's built some sort of engine, I'm guessing, here, he's built wiring and accommodation. I don't know what half of it is, but everywhere in his builds he has stuff. So it's not just some empty shell, it's an actual huge build with everything. It's a functional build, I guess. Like if this was to translate into real life, there would be all sorts of stuff in it. And honestly, this level of detail is beyond impressive, because just doing the outside of the shell, as you can imagine, would take forever. Look, here's a huge dining mess hall where I guess the soldiers and stuff would eat, and the big kitchen over here. And below that is, I don't know, cold storage, I'm guessing? That would make sense actually. Yeah, this is probably cold storage. And I don't know what this is. Probably more storage or something for tanks and things, I guess. So of course, the further down you get, the less stuff there is. But you need to remember, despite how much open room there is, I don't even know, but you just put a desert in. This is under it. That makes sense. So this is at the very bottom, and if you go out, you can just see how huge and thick this build is, and despite that, it is fully decorated. Now there are even the legs are hollow, which I can kind of understand, and well, while I say fully decorated, I mean by the fact that it's mostly decorated, I suppose. There are parts that are more empty than others, but that's understandable because of a build this big, if he tried to fill every single section into complete detail, it would be impossible, especially by himself. But it is decorated enough that you could consider it complete. So that is the second build. This build also has various other smaller ships. There's a big crash ship over here, but when I say big, it's big for a ship, but it's nothing compared to the actual thing. And I'm not sure what it's meant to be. It looks like it has some sort of digger thing down here, but it's basically just a well, I would say that it's just a big giant crawling base. So I'm going to go out of game mode spectator and back into creative. So this is one of my favorite builds, but the next build is actually my top number one favorite build of all time, and it's actually quite similar to this one with a few differences, as you'll see soon. Well, the last build is called Anthropo, I think, and I'm actually not 100% sure if it is bigger than the one before, but it's more creative, and I personally prefer it over it, as I also feel like it is more decorated and just a better build. But like the last one, it is huge, even if it might be smaller. Then again, it could be bigger, I'm not sure. So it will be laggy, but ta-da! It is literally a huge, giant, steampunk-themed turtle with a city on its back. And just like the previous one, it is also completely decorated on the inside as well, with everything built. Now, it is extremely laggy, so forgive me for that, but I just wanted to show you some of the details of it, like the giant cogs, the things that you might not see from far away, but like for example, there's cranes, there's wheels, windows, a deck, trees and buildings everywhere, guns and other stuff, towers on the tail of all places, and the other side is just as decorated. Again, sorry for the lag, my computer is not the best, and as you can already tell, this is a huge build. And there's also the big propellers at the very top, and all sorts of other stuff. It just leads to a hugely impressive build, which I can't even begin to contemplate how much effort must have gone into this, because from what I know, it took 5 months of building, but it must have taken hours every single day over 5 months to build it. So now it is super laggy, so I am going to put the video settings down again. Going to put the render distance down to 15 chunks, and hopefully that will help a lot. So yeah, as we get closer, you can see how much detail there is and things. And with the guns and the shell and even the head, it's just hugely impressive. Like, how I can't even contemplate how I'd even start on a build like this. Like, just the head alone is probably the size of is probably nearly as big as my biggest build I've ever done. Well, maybe not quite as big, but it's still way beyond anything I've ever done before. But yeah, there is quite a few features in this build. Like at the top of it, there are all these walkways and stuff and other things, and yeah, it's just really impressive. So as you can see just by walking around, it very much looks like a normal city with all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to turn into spectator mode to go and have a look inside it so that you can see. And just below the shell, more city. There's also farmland and stuff over here to allow it to be self-efficient. And there's actually quite a bit of farmland everywhere, like down here as well, but also so much city and stuff. Here's part of the engine actually, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is the engine room over here. There's more city, more, this is actually part of the armory area where there's meant to be ships and stuff stored, and this is sort of a runway area. There's just, and if you go over on the other side, you'll see that there is a similar area, but this one actually is filled with the things that's meant to have. Like these are meant to be giant walker mech things, there's mechs over here, just so much stuff, like so much stuff, but I can't even begin to contemplate what they were even thinking by doing this map. So if you go even further down, you get into this area, which is where the giant fan is. And actually I didn't show you the giant fan, but underneath there is a giant fan area, which is used to uphold it, as well as what looks like, well, I don't know what these are. But that's pretty much the build. There is so much more to see. In the head, in the tail, everywhere, all the buildings. I can't even begin. This isn't even the beginning to have a look at it all. But if you enjoyed these maps, I very much encourage you to go have a look at them. I did put a link to the Planet Minecraft, the guy to Carlo's Planet Minecraft account page. So of course you can have a look at them there, and do download them. It has been quite a few years since he uploaded anything new, but what he does have there still is more than impressive. It's more than enough to be well worth a look. And I very much encourage you to explore the maps for yourself. So thank you for watching. I know this is a bit of a different episode, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and bye!